Hello, this is Father Doodle 9000, and welcome to an episode of Game Finish Trios, a series where I talk about games I've played and beaten for the Game Finish Challenge thread on the Hardcore Gaming 101 forum. As you can tell, I'm using a text-to-speech voice, because I currently can't record intro and outro bits at the moment. It is summer, and I live in the countryside, so whenever I find time to record stuff, somebody starts using a lawnmower or a tree trimmer. It's very off-putting when trying to do voice things. So, for the next few videos, there will be no intro and outro bits. Just the main videos which had already been recorded ages ago. I hope you understand, and sorry for the weirdness. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Jake Hunter Detective Story Ghosts of the Dusk, Episode 4. 4 seasons for the Nintendo 3DS. This is the fourth and final mobile game featured in Ghosts of the Dusk, and it's the final game in the Jake Hunter series' original mobile phone run from 2003 to 2010. It's game number 24, to be exact. During a drought in business brought on by the recession, Jake takes on the case of a young antique shop owner who's concerned his partner and friend is up to something dodgy. At the same time, Jake's also hired by a Thai monk to find a stolen Buddhist statue containing information on the mafia. Because it's Jake Hunter, it turns out that these two cases have something tying them together. What could it be? Mechanically, this goes back to the usual linear adventure formula typical of the WorkJam Saburo Jinguji mobile phone games, which is fine, but a little disappointing when this was the last game they'd put out. I do wonder if they knew that this would be their final adventure, because it doesn't seem like they knew. It's just another Jake Hunter case, with nothing unusually dramatic or unique happening in terms of the gameplay and narrative. Perhaps it would be worth reading more into the series' mobile history than I ended up doing. As for this specific game, it's fine. It's perfectly serviceable, and it's always fun to hang out with the usual folks, solving mysteries and doing the old legwork. But it's the least interesting of the games featured in this compilation, and honestly perhaps of the mobile phone games I've played in general. Here's hoping that the compilation exclusive case will be a good send-off to the mobile phone adventures of Jake Hunter. Jake Hunter Detective Story Ghosts of the Dusk, Episode 5, Ghosts of the Dusk, for the Nintendo 3DS. Well, here we are. The final game in Ghosts of the Dusk, and the last translated Jake Hunter mobile adventure that I'll be able to play. It also serves as the first game in the series' signature style since the mobile series ended in 2010. There was a 3DS game called Rondo of Revenge, but I've heard it's a drastically different game. And as well as that, Ghosts of the Dusk was also the 30th anniversary title for the Jake Hunter Saburo Jinguji series. Perhaps that is why this is by far the longest of any of the games I've played up until this point, lasting over 6.5 hours and telling a tale that goes well beyond its initial premise. Out on a night in town, Jake's festivities are interrupted by a rando dashing into the bar, rambling about a dead body he found in a supposedly abandoned house. Looking to investigate, Jake discovers there is a dead body of a homeless man who seemingly died of alcohol poisoning. However, it seems that foul play is involved, and Jake ends up coming into contact with the house's owner, who's been carrying a dark secret for decades. He means to hire Jake in uncovering this secret after the homeless case is solved, but winds up murdered the next day. Just what is going on, and what lurks within the house? It's a surprisingly complex case, and one that the game offers some neat opportunities to explore mechanically, with investigation sequences where you have to check out the environment, and interrogation segments where you try to get answers out of people connected to the case. As a side note, these additions seem to have been introduced in the compilation exclusive titles, at least for the other DS games that didn't come outside of Japan. There's plenty of twists and turns that it takes, going to places you wouldn't think could be approached by going by the initial premise. It even manages to feature concepts and characters seen back in the very first Jinguji game, with a focus on the homeless community, Yulia and Detective Kingsley helping out with the investigation, forensic expert Samantha Martin looking through evidence, and a bit of quiet assistance from the Salvatore family. As a way of capping off this series of mobile games, it works really well regardless of whether you've only played the localized compilations or a dedicated fan. And yeah, there we are, that's it. No more Jake Hunter mobile phone adventure games. I guess there's still the alternate Jake Hunter game. I could give that another shot someday, but yeah, I'm gonna miss playing these games. Partially that's because alternate Jake Hunter's quite different in its mechanical focus, but also it's because I've become fond of how cozy it's been to flip out the DS and play through a mystery for a couple hours, making some deductions while enjoying the characters and listening to some cool jazz music. I hope that somebody will figure out how to translate the 3 DS compilation titles still only in Japan so I can try one of those one day. Actually, I hope that goes for the entire series, since nothing has been translated outside of what I've played in alternate Jake Hunter. Even in the world of fan translations, the only thing that ever got a translation was the Game Boy Advance game, The White Phantom Girl, and that was a Korean translation years and years and years ago. Jake Hunter, Saburo, Jinguji, it's given me a passion and interest in playing Japanese adventure games again, and I want to explore that interest somehow. Whether with these games or in branching out to other series and seeing how they fare. This started on such a random whim. I read about it on some wiki somewhere and downloaded it and tried it while on a little holiday, and now here we are, 11 games later with a new passion. I've enjoyed it immensely. Till then, I'd like to do something a bit dorky and leave you with the game's final words. If life is kind, I'd like to see these sights for years and years to come, both the things that change and those that ever remained the same, each in their own unique way. See you in next trouble.